Hello, my name's Rob and welcome to Swift Slots. So I've been quite a busy boy this week. I've been getting myself sorted out with some more 1/24th scale projects, and I've also been getting myself sorted out with some 43rd scale as well. So I've been on the forum, slot forum, showing my little Carrera 997 build, and I got talking with some people, and it looks like I'm going to be going down a proxy race kind of angle as well with my little Carrera, and that's kind of pushed me into the direction of doing some diecast as well, some diecast 1/43rd conversions and proxying those as well. So with that in mind, I decided that my little 997 just wasn't going to cut it outside of my own Crow Valley track, outside of my own house. If I'm going to take it away somewhere, it's going to have to be a bit quicker than it was. So I spoke to Pendle Slot. I got myself a 24k motor. It was a 16k motor. And I've changed the rear gearing to the standard Carrera gearing that you'd find in their Formula 1 cars, I believe. You can buy whole axles with gears and bearings and wheels from Pendle, back axle and front axle as a pair for about £3, the whole thing. So that gets your axles sorted, your bearings sorted if you want to use them, and some wheels to use as inserts and so on. So I bought a few sets of those. So I've changed the motor to 24k, changed the whole back axle. I also changed the tyres. I found NSR do some tyres. They're 10 by 13 and ultra grip tyres, and they go beautiful on my little Carrera car. Just a very slight true just to get them dead flat, spot on. So I don't know if they'll get any more grip than the Pendle tyres I had on before. They were very good, but you can't go wrong with NSR, so I thought I'd try them and at least I'll know. So we've gone from effectively 4,000 RPM on the back wheels, which give me good power through the bends, but no good down the straight, to now a theoretical 7,000 on the back end. So that should really pepper up down the main straight, because before you could literally watch the car go down the straight, not fly down the straight like my 32 do. It was just trundling down the straight. I had everything in the bends and nothing on the straight. So from 4,000 to 7,000 RPM, that should pick her up quite a bit. I don't think she's going to be an absolute rocket ship even at 7,000, but it's going to be significantly better than it was. So I'll give that a go when Crow Valley is next set up and running, and I'll let you know how this one got on. And if you watch other YouTube channels, I'll tell you more about that later on. You should find this one on there, as well as possibly some of these converted 43rds, which leads me on to my 43rd scale projects. So I've been to my local town and I've bought a selection of 1/43rd scale diecast cars. The plan with these is to turn them all into slot cars and run a proxy races in the UK and abroad, and I'll keep you posted on the details of those as and when they come along. But my plan with these in the short term is to develop my own little chassis. I'll make my own chassis and I'll mould that into rubber, mould it into resin from the rubber mould, and then I'll produce those so I can convert die-cast cars into slot cars very, very quickly. And I shall base that chassis all around the same components as I've used for my Carrera Go, which is the slim can from Pendle and the Carrera back gears and probably the Carrera front bearings, and make my own rear bearings probably because they're a little bit less sloppy. And I should use slotting plus guide, so there's a 3.6mm hole, so a slotting plus guide will go in. So we'll have slotting plus guide, Carrera front bearings taken from the axle set I spoke about earlier, the Carrera back gears which are on the axles as well, and the Carrera back axle at 2.2. So I have to get some different bearings or make some bearings. But other than making the bearings, it should just be a case of order some standard parts and plonk them straight into a pre-made chassis. And the chassis will be adjustable in length so that I can just adjust the length, trim around the edges to suit each car, bolt it up inside the body, and hey presto, you got yourself a die-cast slot car. So that's the plan with these cars here. So these cars here, they weren't very expensive at all. This car here and this one here came from Smith's Toys for $4.99, probably $6, whatever it is. And the middle one came from TK Maxx, again $4.99, so $6. And these top ones are a real bargain. They actually came from B&M for £2.50 each, so there's £7.50 for all three of those cars. So it was about $8, something like that. So that's my 43rd scale sorted out, and I'll get you on the bench in a minute to give you a slightly closer look. But also on my 24th scale stuff, I had this absolutely fantastic Tamiya Supra kit. I've had my eye on this kit for years and I've never bothered to buy it. I've wanted it, but I've never bought it. Beautiful, beautiful car. Tamiya, so you know the quality's awesome. But that will be turned into a slot car. Now, I intend with this one to just try and keep as much of the original kit as physically possible. It's not going to be a racing car. I just want it as a project to turn a kit into a slot car, have it looking really, really nice. I'll probably do a carbon fibre chassis, a twin layer carbon fibre chassis, my own pillow bearings, my own turned alloy wheels, and so on and so forth. So make the chassis myself, but also just use the body and the interior from the kit. So that's what I intend to do with this one. And these two bottom ones are an absolute, well, they're amazing, to be honest with you. I got this Corvette here from TK Maxx yesterday, and it was £4.99. It's a lovely, lovely body. It really is amazing. It's very, very light. It's a toy. It's a friction car, but the chassis is beautiful. It's very pliable. As far as slot cars go, it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be very, very, very good. So that is a beautiful car. I'll show you it in a minute. And this Lamborghini was also a bit of a bargain. It was only £3. But we've got a local tip by us, and then we've got a tip shop. So anything that goes to the tip that's reasonable, they don't put it in the tip. They take it to the shop on site. And on Facebook, they put an advert out for this car. It was in a bunch of other items that they were advertising. And I thought, oh, I know what that'll do. That'll be a nice slot car. So we rushed off down there within the hour, and it was still there on the shelves, and I grabbed it for £3. Again, I think it's a friction car. It could be pull back and go, one of the two. But that will also make a fantastic slot car. So all painted up in a proper livery with proper paints. I know they've got black windows, but hey-ho, they'll be awesome. So I'm wondering, this one here, I could actually do a brass chassis. Like the Americans guys do with your brass tubular chassis. So I thought I could do something with that one. I could use the standard chassis that comes with the Corvette, because I think that'll be a fantastic chassis. And my own custom-made twin-layer carbon fibre chassis for my Supra, a bit of a special. But I could always do those chassis again on other cars as and when I find them. So I get you down on my bench, and I'll show you what I've got here a little bit closer up, and I'll give you some more information on some other things. So let's start with my Tamiya Supra. Not much to see here really, I guess. It's just a Tamiya kit, but it is a lovely, lovely kit. There's the contents, and there's the body. I absolutely love this car. This car's going to look so, so pretty when it's done. So we've got some tyres. Oh, which reminds me, I've got an update to give you on tyres as well. So, yes, I've got some information on tyres. And there's all the components here. Like I say, I won't be using this actual chassis part of the kit. I'll be making my own. But I'm sure that there will be parts in amongst here that I'll be able to use for other builds. I can see an engine here for a start, or at least a gearbox. But, so that'll be nice. And also the transfers. I've been buying transfers recently like they're going out of fashion for lots of projects that I've got coming. So these transfers mean quite a lot to me at the moment, knowing how difficult they are to get. They're always out of stock everywhere. So there's some lovely, lovely transfers there. So that's the kit. Not expensive. And I found that there's a company that used to do a lot of selling on eBay. That's how I found them, and they're called Jadlam. If you want some prices, if you want some kits that aren't too expensive, or modelling products or toys or paints, have a look at Jadlam. They actually do free UK postage, and I haven't found anything that's more cheaper anywhere else than Jadlam. They just got some fantastic prices, so give them a look. And also show you my wonderful Corvette. Oh, I really like this car. This car is fantastic. Let me take it out. I'll show you. It's going to be an amazing slot car. I'm sure it is. There you go. Now the wheels are a little bit undersized, quite a bit undersized to be honest with you. And obviously there are no tyres on it. They're all just moulded, and I say it's a friction car. So, but it is, in terms of what it's going to be as a slot car, it's absolutely fantastic. This chassis is quite rubbery, not rubbery, but it's not stiff. It's going to make a really nice. It's very similar to the NSR chassis in their sort of pliability. It's going to be really, really good. So I'll make my own alloy wheels. I use these wheels here as inserts, and I make my own tyres. Again, I'll get back to you on tyres in a second now. I'll show you what I've done there as well. But that is going to be a very, very nice slot car. I can't wait to get stuck into this one. And then we've got my tip find, which again, very nice car. Get him out of the box. Have a, oh no, I can get him out. And there we go. Right, there you go. One Lamborghini. Again, this is going to make an awesome slot car. It's even got the engine detail in the back, look. £3. I mean, okay, so it didn't come from an actual shop, it came from the tip shop, but even still, I just noticed there's actually even got actual tyres on it. I mean, they're not going to be any good as slot cars, but they'll be probably okay on the fronts. But again, I should be taking the insert, making my own alloy wheels, taking out these middles of the wheels, using those as inserts, and again, making my own tyres for the rear as well. So again, this is actually, oops, it is actually a friction car. So in terms of comparison of size, there you go. So they'll make some really, really good slot cars, and there's very little weight in them, so I should imagine they'll be quite brisk as well. Right. So that's those. Put all that junk away. And then just another close-up of my little Carrera that I changed for the 24k motor and the Carrera gears. The Carrera gears actually fit beautifully. The standard 32 gears, that's a 27 tooth. There's 27 tooth on an 8 tooth pinion on this. I've got some 9 tooths as well. I'll probably get a 10 tooth to change the gear ratios, but at the moment this is 3.2 to 1. So that's where I was getting my 7,000 from, but I can change the gear, so I can go up to 9 or even a 10 pinion if I want to try and get a bit more speed if I feel like it. But I think the 8 on a 27 will be enough. So get you close up of that one there. And then these cars. So let's start with the TK Maxx one. I'll show you that one first. It's the Audi. So very nice Audi. Die-cast, opening doors, but you'll cut all the hinges off and glue the doors shut. And again, this one will be with my own chassis that I'll be able to lengthen and shorten and just trim around the edge. There'll be a generic chassis that I can use in all my cars. Dump in this slimline motor, standard gears, like I said before. And again, make my own tyres. I'll show you that again in a second now. But so that'll be a nice one. And then I'll show you this. This is also, well, they're all nice cars to be fair. Rather nice PlayStation liveried. What one is it? I forget now what it is. Oh, it's a BMW. Of course it is. Really, really, really nice. Again, opening doors, but I mean, I'll chop off the hinges and I'll glue the doors all shut. So that'll be great. Again, I'll use the wheels as inserts, or maybe not. I mean, I have to see how it goes. I might be able to do something else with those. But that's a very nice one. And I'll show you the other Smith's toys. What one is this one? And the McLaren. So there we are. Again, opening doors, but I'll get the doors open. The gull-wing doors on this one, actually. If I can get them open. There you go. Gull-wing doors. But again, they'll be shut down and glued tight, so that doesn't matter. But it's a very nice little car. It's going to make a rather pretty looking slot car. So I've gone for the ones that I could find, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think with this low slung body, it'll look pretty smart. And then my super cheap ones, which are just as good as the more expensive ones, only half the price. So I've got an Audi, which is really cool. Interesting way to get the bodies off. You pull the number plates out. They're little extra pieces, and you pull them out, and the whole chassis comes away like that. Quite strange. They don't weigh a lot. I've never raced die-cast. I've never converted die-cast to a slot car, so it'll be interesting to see how well they go. But we'll find out. There's that one. And my personal favourite overall, not necessarily my favourite in any one area, but overall, this is my most favourite one, the Renault Clio. Is it a Clio? I forget now. Megane, sorry, Renault Megane, of course it is. So I think overall this is probably my favourite one. Just, I don't know, there's something about it that I actually quite like. So that's that one. And the Lamborghini. Now this is going to make a nice slot car. Look at the size of those wheel recesses. That's going to have those NSR tyres straight in there all day long. So apart from the fact that they run 6mm wide tyres, that's part of the rules, but that's fine. I mean, I can work with that. But that's going to make a very nice slot car as well. So there we are. There are my 43rd scale diecasts ready to be turned into slot cars, and I'll keep you posted on the proxy racing that I'm going to be doing. Crow Valley is going to hold a stage of proxy racing as well, and also at least two other people are going to hold it. It'll either be on YouTube channels, I suspect some of it will be, or it'll be on the slot forum. Either way, I'll let you know how it goes to keep you posted on that. So on to an update of my slot car box. I have a small favour to ask for any of my wonderful viewers and subscribers. Obviously I've just built this box, I did it on the channel. I haven't raced slot cars for 15 years. I've just obviously come back in the last year or so, but there's been a 14-15 year gap where I had nothing to do with slot cars at all. So all my bits and bobs I used to have are long since gone, so I'm starting from scratch. So I managed to make this box as you saw on the channel, but I wanted to decorate it with some stickers. Now I thought that was going to be a super easy task of just ring Pendle or Gauge Master or whoever and grab some stickers and adorn my box full of stickers, and it rapidly became clear that that wasn't going to be the case. So a really nice guy on Slot Forum sent me some stickers. This one isn't fully stuck down yet because I want to put him somewhere else when I got some other stickers. So he's just put on with some sellotape for a minute just because it might move. So that's not permanent. But he gave me a couple of stickers here, where it was great, and it got me started on my box, and that was fantastic. So thank you to that guy on Slot Forum. But also I went to my local sticker man and I got some blue and yellow, blue and orange and black, and I created my own golf style wrap, and I've got a golf sticker coming on Etsy that they've made me one just the right size to go on there. So that got a nice big golf sticker on the back. So that solved some of my sticker problem by just doing that livery. I love the golf livery, as you know, so that looked really good on there. So that's that. But if anybody's got any stickers that they can sell me, I'd be very glad to have some more to cover this box all over on NSR and other brands, Fly, Carrera, so on and so forth. If you've got any that you want to sell me, I'll be very glad to take them off your hands, because I would like to cover this whole box and the sides as well in some slot car stickers. So, little shout out there. Thank you very much. Now also, I did mention that I was going to make my own tyres. Well, making masters, model masters, I'm a model railway manufacturer by trade. So making masters, not a problem. Casting rubber, not a problem. Casting resin, not a problem. So none of this is anything new to me. Making a pattern for a wheel, no big deal. Making a pattern for a tyre or chassis, no big deal. So I've got hold of my supplier of rubber products and resin products for my day-to-day job and told him what I wanted to do. And he supplied me with this rubber, which he says is a standard urethane style rubber, which is what people like Paul Gage use and Wasp and so on. But this is in a 45 Shore. Now, I don't know a huge amount about rubber in the context of using them for tyres for slot cars, but I guess we'll find out. So this is the rubber, 1 kilo pack. This is the hardener, and this is the release agent. So this is what I've bought. I'm going to make my own patterns, either on the lathe as a brass pattern and make a mould from it, or using the standard kit tyre from that if it's that appropriate. So that's what I should be doing at some point soon on the channel. I should be making masters and then casting rubber, fitting them onto custom wheels, and I'll let you know how that goes. I'll also probably do, if the rubber works out extremely well, I might actually do some tyres to sell so that they're like a direct fit onto wheels like the Staff's wheels. So I'll keep you posted on how this all goes. I'll tell you how the rubber grips up and see how they drew and so on and so forth. So that's another little thing to come. So there we are, a bit of a roundup of what I've been doing this week and the things that I've accumulated for future videos. I'm also halfway through a project which will be fully finished and on air in about a week's time, about 5 days at the end of next week. So I hope you hang around for that. I think it's worth watching. Hope you enjoy it. So if you enjoyed this sort of content, maybe you'll subscribe. If you hit the little bell, that'll be awesome. Thank you very much.